Okay, so just picture this for a second. You've got this super laid-back guy, right?
Hmm.
Bathrobe, white Russian, and he somehow just like trips headfirst into this really twisty noir mystery.
Yeah, it's wild.
Totally wild. We're talking mistaken identity, nihilists, German nihilists,
Hmm.
and just a ton of bowling. And this whole absurd thing, it somehow becomes this massive cultural touchstone.
Hmm.
So welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're really getting into it, the enduring philosophy of the Big Lebowski.
And it's amazing because, the guys behind it, Joel and Ethan Coen, they're giants, some of the most important filmmakers out there today.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at their work, Fargo, which is just chilling, or No Country for Old Men, incredibly tense stuff. It hits hard with, critics, movie buffs, everyone.
Yeah.
They're just masters at mixing that sharp irony with all sorts of genres. And the skill, the actual filmmaking skill is just...
Well, it's phenomenal. That's such a key thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That mix of irony and just pure craft. You see it in Fargo for sure, but the Big Lebowski, which came out in '98, that felt different.
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't just like critically acclaimed or a box office thing. It felt like a real cultural moment. It kind of created its own whole vibe, its own, well, almost a way of life for some
Yeah,
people.
it's philosophy.
Exactly. So our mission here today in this deep dive is to really unpack why the Coens matter so much, artistically, cinematically, through this specific film. We're going to look at the style, the history around it, its impact, its legacy, how it's, rippled through movies and culture.
And it makes you wonder, right? How
Yeah.
did this film, which, let's be honest, baffled a lot of critics when it first came out.
Oh, yeah, they didn't know what to make of it.
Some called it like an unnecessary joke or something.
Yeah.
How did that turn into this global thing? You've got Lebowski fests everywhere,
Sorry, that
this
is
whole
fair.
dudism philosophy thing popping up. It just makes you ask, why does this seemingly kind of plotless movie mean so much to so many people?
It's fascinating. And to really get how a film like this happens, you kind of have to look at the Coens themselves. Joel, born 54, Ethan, 57, Minnesota kids, academic Jewish family background.
Right.
They got hooked on movies really early, and they've basically done everything together since their first film, Blood Simple,
Yeah.
way back in '84, writing, directing, producing, even editing, right, under that fake name.
Roderick James, yeah. It's a unique partnership.
Totally.
And if you think about the timing, Lebowski drops in 1998. North America's kind of shifting, the Cold War is over, and there's this maybe self-congratulatory vibe about global capitalism taking over.
Yeah.
Postmodern neoliberalism, some call it.
Right.
And the Coens, they deliberately set the film earlier, like early 90s LA, right after the first Gulf War, Bush Senior era. So America's kind of celebrating victory, the economy.
Right, that whole narrative.
But the Coens are showing the flip side, the kind of grungy parts, the post-hippie hangover, the crazy wealth, the absurdity just lingering after these big conflicts. So the film really works as the sharp satire poking fun at the culture, the ideology, the contradictions in the whole American way of life. And it's all seen through Jeff Lebowski, the dude, who's basically just opting out. He's not buying into that celebration.
Yeah, he's just abiding. And it's from that specific time and place, that cultural viewpoint, that they launched this story that, it feels like a detective story on the surface.
Kind of.
You've got the dude, this lovable slacker, ex-hippie in L.A., no real job, and these thugs mistake him for another Jeff Lebowski, a millionaire.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski, exactly.
Yeah.
And that mistake just snowballs. It drags them into this insane mess of blackmail, pornographers, those German nihilists again.
Can't forget the nihilists.
Never. And, of course, Maud, the very interesting femme fatale.
And what's so brilliant about it, I think, is how the film just systematically makes fun of the logic of those old noir plots.
Yeah.
Cause and effect, the hero's journey.
Right, none of it really applies.
Not at all. The dude doesn't actually solve anything. He doesn't really change or learn, not in the usual movie way. And the central mystery, it just sort of dissolves. It becomes this tangled knot of ridiculous coincidences.
Yeah.
Which makes Lebowski super postmodern, It's not just telling a story, it's playing with the idea of stories. It questions those big, grand narratives, traditional heroes. It suggests maybe there isn't some neat, simple truth out there.
So it's a parody, but also something deeper.
Exactly. It's a loving send-up of old movies, but it's also this really insightful, maybe even kind of disillusioned look at how meaningless modern life can feel sometimes.
You mentioned the Coens' formal virtuosity before.
Mhm.
Can you unpack that a bit? Like, how does their visual style, their filmmaking technique work in Lebowski, especially with all the chaos going on in the story?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great point. You see it so clearly with Roger Deakins' cinematography. He's worked with them forever. Totally. Those smooth, almost gliding camera movements, they often just drift around the dude while he's just standing there chilling. It visually highlights how detached he is while the crazy world spins around him.
Okay. So the camera work reinforces his whole philosophy.
Precisely. It's that visual contrast. It underlines his philosophical stillness, maybe, and the colors, too. Lots of warm, earthy tones. It's not just pretty. It kind of hints that the bright idealism of the 60s has faded into this hazy consumerist world.
Right.
But it's in that slightly decayed setting that the dude finds his own kind of real peace.
That really makes sense, connecting the look to the ideas.
Yeah.
And thematically, this film seems to pull together a lot of recurring Coen themes, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Like No Country for Old Men comes to mind, this idea that chance, just random absurdity, rules everything.
Absolutely. Nothing really adds up neatly, and the characters who kind of make it through are often the ones who just accept that uncertainty, who roll with it.
Like the dude.
Exactly. And it also feeds into their critique of American identity. They use humor, obviously, to pick apart all these different sides of Americanism.
Like what?
Well, you've got the ruthless capitalism of The Big Lebowski, Walter's kind of over-the-top veteran machismo.
This is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
All right. Then there's Maud's art world snobbery, the porn industry, the whole 70s aesthetic, even just violence as a way people communicate. It's like holding up a funhouse mirror to the country.
And the dude is the ultimate anti-hero in the middle of all that, isn't he?
Totally.
He's the opposite of a typical hero. Doesn't fight, doesn't really change, doesn't seem to have clear goals. Yet he becomes this massive cult figure because of that. Because he's philosophically consistent in his own way. His whole going with the flow thing, it's not just being lazy. It feels like this almost radical resistance.
Active resistance, yeah. Against a world that's always yelling at you to be ambitious, be productive, fix everything.
Right. His refusal to join the rat race is actually powerful.
Yeah.
It's like an alternate way to deal with modern life with all the anxiety.
Yeah.
Plus just the language, the dialogue is brilliant. Like all their films, the way characters talk is just, it creates rhythm, defines them, and it's endlessly funny.
Oh, the script is packed. Memorable lines, absurd phrases, the repetitions. It builds its own unique little universe.
It really does.
And it's not just the script or the characters. Think about those narrative tricks they pull. The dream sequences, for example.
Oh, yeah, the bowling dance.
The bowling dance with Maud, or that bizarre musical bit with the nihilists.
Cutting off the toe.
Right. They completely break the usual movie rules there. They pull in stuff from music videos, old Hollywood musicals, surreal cartoons.
Yeah.
And those scenes aren't just weird for weirdness' sake. They actually, expand the film's tone. They dig into the dude's subconscious and just highlight the absurdity of everything.
Those sequences really stand out visually.
Yeah.
But it's not only the big set pieces, it's also just the rhythm of the editing, right?
Yeah.
How they cut scenes, use music, sometimes ironically.
Definitely.
It makes even simple scenes incredibly funny.
Couldn't agree more. And that gets to another key thing they do here. Blending genres. It's part film noir, part ridiculous comedy, part urban western.
Urban Western, I like that.
Yeah, it even has musical elements.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite fit neatly into any of those boxes. And that hybrid quality makes it impossible to pin down, and you can watch it over and over and always see something new. It keeps surprising you.
So when it first came out, though,
Yeah.
not exactly embraced immediately.
No, not at all. Critics were pretty confused, I think. Maybe they expected another Fargo, something darker, denser.
Less overtly comedic.
Yeah, a lot of reviews called it, like we said, a joke or just too much of a mashup, a pastiche. But you know how it goes with films that are maybe a bit ahead of the curve?
It found its audience.
It really did. Its reputation just grew and grew over the years.
Yeah.
And now, it's a massive cultural phenomenon.
No kidding. The legacy is huge.
It's undeniable. You've got the Lebowski Fest every year, people dressing up, bowling, quoting lines.
White Russians everywhere.
Absolutely. Then there's dudism, that sort of unofficial philosophy online, seeing the dude as this, modern wise man advocating non-aggression, just abiding,
Yeah.
and just legions of fans who know every line, collect the merch, treat it like this. epic story for cynical times. Even academically, people write papers about it. It's postmodernism, connections to Eastern thought, critiques of masculinity, how it takes apart the noir genre.
Wow. So its footprint on movies today is pretty deep then.
Incredibly deep. It really helped make the cult comedy a legitimate thing and an art form almost.
Right.
And it also normalized characters like the dude people on the fringes, not typical heroes, but somehow audiences connect with them profoundly. They become magnetic.
Yeah, you root for him, even though he's not doing much.
Exactly. And it sort of paved the way for other films and shows that embrace absurdity without just falling apart into nonsense. You can kind of see its DNA in, like, Paul Thomas Anderson's Inherent Vice.
Oh, definitely.
Or maybe Napoleon Dynamite. Even TV shows like Atlanta or Barry seem to share some of that spirit.
That makes sense.
And for the Coens themselves, Lebowski really cemented them as these auteurs who could do anything, drama, comedy, farce, but always sound like them. That Coen style, the irony, the cynicism, but also empathy, the smart narratives, the love for the failures, that became their signature.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does it all mean? Why do the Coen brothers matter so much in film history?
Well, I think it comes down to their incredible knack for twisting genres, for digging into the weirdness and confusion of being human.
The sin sense, as one source put it.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. And they do it all with such amazing technical skill, such elegance. The Big Lebowski is like the perfect example of their worldview, kind of disenchanted, yeah, but also really playful. It's a world where stuff just happens, doesn't always make sense, ideologies kind of fall apart, and the only real choice is to, well, like the cowboy says at the end, just keep rolling.
And the dude himself, he's more than just funny. He represents something important, doesn't he?
Absolutely vital, I'd say. Accepting chaos, letting go of rigid social rules, finding joy in simple things.
Bowling, a rug.
Exactly. And using compassion as your moral compass. In a world obsessed with ambition, getting ahead, being efficient, the Coens dared to celebrate the guy who just chooses to chill out. With beer, bowling, buddies, and that, in its own quiet way, feels like their biggest revolution. It's a subtle act of defiance.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you to chew on. The Big Lebowski isn't just a great movie or a hilarious comedy. It's almost like an existential manifesto hiding in plain sight. And the Coens, by making it, really earned their place in cinema history. They gave a voice to the people who feel like they failed or they're disillusioned or just don't quite fit in.
Which, let's face it, is probably a lot of us sometimes.
Exactly. It speaks for maybe all of us in a way. Makes you think, what does it actually mean in your life to just keep rolling whatever nonsense comes your way?